Hello, ladies and gents. I hope you guys had a great long weekend and a happy President's Day. And today we get to submit our revised drafts of Project 2. Can you believe the term is like almost over? If we take a look at our weeks ahead of us, we have this one and a little bit of next week, and then we're done. Isn't that crazy? Time flies when you're having fun, huh? So today you are going to be submitting the revised draft of Project 2. Please make sure before you submit that revised draft that you take into consideration the feedback you've gotten from your peers in the peer review discussions. You take into consideration the feedback you've gotten from me in the draft for instructor review comments. And if you were able and lucky enough to attend a session with Sydney, that you take into consideration the comments she provided you with as well. Writing is a process. There's no such thing as a perfect final draft, which is why we call this the revised draft. But we want to see changes between our drafts. Otherwise, it's not really a revised draft. It's just submitting your first draft again, right? So make sure that you're investing in that writing process. Our writing can always be better. So take the time to really analytically read through your essay. Have a friend glance over it before you turn it in, whatever it takes to make sure that you're turning in something that you can really be proud of. So that's due tonight. And then the rest of this week, you're going to be working on our final assignments for the quarter. So if you take a look, we have our third reflection due on Sunday. And that reflection is a chance for you to look back at this term in its entirety and see how your writing process has hopefully evolved at least a little bit, and then look forward and see how this process might be helpful to you in different contexts, whether it's in another class or perhaps somewhere out in the real world where you have to use critical thinking, where you might have to be able to research something, where you might have to articulate your ideas clearly, whether in written form or verbal. Think about how those things might help you in the future. Typically, folks do a really good job at the looking back part, and they seem to struggle with the looking forward part. So make sure that you give yourself enough time to invest in both of those aspects of the reflection. And then we are going to be turning in the final digital portfolio, and you're going to be working on that. That gets turned in on Tuesday next week. The most common error folks make with the digital portfolio is they forget to enable permissions. So we are working through a Google program, which means you are going to need to make sure that your instructor can view all of the documents and the portfolio itself. So make sure it might mean changing your permissions. It might mean manually adding me as someone who can view all your documents using my ASU email address, which is awortley@asu.edu. We've got that all over Canvas, but just in case you need another reminder, that's what it is. Please make sure that you have those permissions enabled, because if I can't view your documents and I can't view your portfolio, I can't give you a grade, which would be a super bummer, because I know that you've worked really hard on creating these fabulous portfolios. I want to make sure you get the points that represent all of your work, but if I can't view it, I can't grade it, and then it has to get a 0, which is very disappointing. So please make sure that you've got all of those permissions enabled before you submit your portfolio on Tuesday. If you did not enable permissions, I'm going to be checking all of these Wednesday morning. So I will send you an email. If I can't see your stuff, you'll have until Wednesday night to make sure I can get a view of that if you want to be able to earn points. So please, please, please make sure you've got those permissions enabled. I'll remind us again in the announcements next week. But keep that in mind as you're working on those portfolios. And that just about wraps up our time together, guys. We are almost done, which is terribly exciting. You've done so much excellent work so far. So keep up the good work as you turn in those revised drafts today and as you work throughout the week on your reflections and your final portfolio. If you have any questions, reach out to myself or Sydney. We're here to help. And have a great week, guys.